In this session, we are going to discuss about Verilog HDL. So initially, we need to know why this HDL language is required. The expansion of HDL is a hardware description language. Actually, if you see, if you might have come through came across C, C++, Java, all type of software. These languages are used for application development. So if you want, particularly if you want to design a hardware, you can't able to use those type of languages. You can able to develop only some application. So these hardware description languages are intended for, especially for hardware design. That's why in the case of VLSI design, we are specifically learning HDL language. HDL languages are of several types. Verilog and VHDL is the basic HDL language. The expansion for Verilog is verification logic hardware description language. And the second one is VHDL. So VHDL is very high speed integrated circuit hardware description language. First one is Verilog, which is verification logic hardware description language. VHDL is very high speed integrated circuit hardware description language. Another one is system Verilog. In most of the companies nowadays, we are not Satvika, you can't able to hear. Others, can you able to hear me? Preeti, Shanmuga Priya, Vishnu Priya.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So another important hardware description language is your system Verilog. So nowadays in industry they are not using Verilog. So even though it is a basic language, and a few industries they are following VHDL, and most of the VLSI industries they are using system Verilog nowadays. So we can get into the concept of Verilog HDL. Actually, we need to see four different uh, design flows. It is common for every languages, every HDL languages. So one is data flow modeling, gate level modeling, second one. Third one, behavior level modeling. Fourth one, switch level modeling. So simply, if I want to explain is with the help of an XOR gate, I can able to tell. So this is the design of an XOR gate. We have we can able to represent XOR gate with the structure or with the equation, a logic equation, with a truth table or a circuit level design. So using any of these characteristics of this particular XOR gate, we can able to represent it. So based on that, so if you see data flow modeling, from the name itself, the modeling explains the data flow of data with the help of logic equation. So if we know the logic equation of a particular design, we can able to do the data flow modeling very easily. The keyword used for mentioning the data flow modeling is assign keyword. Assign is the keyword which is used to represent all the logic equation in data flow modeling. In gate level modeling, if you know the structure, gate level structure, not the transistor level structure. If you know the gate level structure, you can able to design any logic using gate level modeling. Here we will be using the keyword as the logic gates. For example, for designing an XOR gate, the keyword is XOR, AND gate, NAND gate, NOR gate, inverter. So these are all the symbols which is used to represent the particular gate. So based on the gate structure, so you can able to design gate level modeling. Behavior level modeling can be done with the help of, if you know the behavior of the circuit. The behavior of the circuit can be understood with the help of two things. One is the logic equation, another one is the truth table. If you know either logic equation or your truth table, you can able to easily design using behavior level modeling. So in behavior level modeling, the keywords are always first keyword. I will explain what is this always procedure. Then we have to represent actually behavior level modeling, especially used for sequential circuit design. The data flow gate level is intended for combinational circuit. Actually, using data flow and gate level, even we can able to design the sequential modeling. But using behavior level modeling, we can able to design specifically the uh, sorry, vice versa. In behavior level modeling, we can able to design a combinational circuit as well as sequential circuit. But using data flow and gate level, we can able to design only combinational circuit. We can't able to do any design of sequential circuit using gate level or data flow. So only we can able to adopt a behavior level modeling for sequential circuit. So these keywords I will explain one by one later. In switch level modeling or circuit level modeling, from the name itself, switch level means you will be having the transistors. Only transistors are acting as switch, right, in every design. So you need to know the circuit level or transistor level design of that particular design. So then only you can able to go with switch level modeling. Here the keywords are NMOS, PMOS, CMOS, supply 0, supply 1. These type of keywords are also available. These are all the main keywords we have to use at the time of design. So initially data flow modeling. So it can be done with the help of logic equations. If you know the logic equation, you can able to do data flow modeling very easily. For gate level modeling, we need to know the structure based on gates. So gate level structures are required of that particular design. In behavior level modeling, we may go for sequential circuit. For designing sequential circuit, we are dealing with behavior level modeling most of the cases. So for that, we need to know the behavior of the circuit as through logic equations or with the help of truth tables. For switch level modeling, we need to know the transistor level modeling of the design. So with this introduction, I can able to go elaborately about the Verilog HDL. This is the very basic, one of the very basic book related to Verilog. So it is a Verilog primer written by Jayan Bhaskar. So very importantly, we need to know about the digital concept before getting into the Verilog HDL. The prerequisite for this particular Verilog HDL is digital electronic concept completely, combinational circuit, sequential circuit, Moore-Mealy circuits, FSM design. All these concepts are the basics. So during the explanation, we can able to side by side, we can able to see those explanations also. So these are all the logic values which can be assigned to a particular variable. A variable can take actually in digital electronics we may be studying that a variable can take two logic levels, logic 0 and logic 1. But apart from that, it can take these three logic levels also. Initially, logic 0, logic 1. As you know, a variable is having logic 0 means it is connected to ground or VSS. If it is having logic 1 means it is connected to VDD. The third logic is high impedance. High impedance means there is an open circuit connection. So you know already know that in circuits, if any open connection is there, the potential difference is very high impedance, right? So that is only they have mentioned another logic level. So if any floating gates available in your design, so the value automatically assigned to that floating gate is high impedance. Don't care and unknown. These look similar sometimes, but don't care if you see these type of values we use at the time of mainly in flip-flop designs, but unknown values and don't care is explained with a variable, the value logic value called x. Actually, the unknown logic value which will be assigned to a variable when we are defining a variable and we are not assigning its any value to that. At that time only an unknown logic value will be automatically assigned to a variable. For example, for a particular design, you are declaring a variable and you are not at all using that variable anywhere in the design. So simply you have assigned a value. You are sorry, simply you have defined variable and you are not utilizing that variable, as well as you are not going to assign a value to that variable. In that case, we will be having an unknown value symbol x is mentioned in that particular case. So these are all the 5 different logic levels you have to remember. Most of the cases don't care and unknown states are same. So data types. So we have very importantly 2 different data types available in Verilog. One is net data type, second one is register data type. So while explaining the concept, along with that, I can able to explain these things. For example, yeah. So initially, I will explain the basic syntax of Verilog HDL. So the syntax start with a keyword called module. So initially, whatever may be the design what we are doing, it is mentioned as a module in Verilog. So all the module has to be declared with a keyword called module, followed by module, the name for the module name. Actually, for assigning a name for a particular module, so you need to know some set of rules. So module name should not start with a number. So it should not start with a number. So it can be alphanumeric. So your the name what you are going to give for a module that can start with a number. Sorry, it should not start with a number. It can be alphanumeric. But it should not start with a number. It should not contain any keywords. So we have seen some keywords while explaining about different flows, right? So you should not use any keywords for mentioning the names of the model. So these are all the very important things you have to remember. You can start with ampersand or underscore. So these symbols can be used. No others except these two symbols, no other symbols are allowed. Like minus, dot, plus, star, percentage, like this, or equal. Very importantly, hyphen. All these symbols should not be considered at the time of giving name to the model. So, so it can be alphanumeric, but it should not start with a number. It should not contain any keywords, and it should not contain any special characters, except dollar and underscore. Very importantly, space also. You should not have any space in between the module names. So module name, then input and output declaration. So actually variable declarations here. So normally we don't have any rules, but for my simplicity, I used to follow this output followed by input. So there is no rule, such a rule like that. You can able to declare the variables initially, input variables initially, output variables at the final, or you can able to mix it up. For at the time of gate level design, according to the keyword of the gates, all the output variable of that particular gate is coming at the first, and followed by the input variable. This is the definition what they have given for gate level modeling. The same if we are following for others at that time, while going for modular instantiation concept, it will be very easy for you to follow up. So that's why I used to follow output followed by the input. So module name, variable declaration. So now we have to define the variables. Here we are simply uh, declaring the variables. We have to give the definition. Now we have some input output variables, right? So we have to specify which are all the variables going to be used as input, and which are all the variables going to be used as output. So input is the keyword to declare that particular input variables. So output is the keyword used for defining output variables. So here this input output keywords are coming under net data type. So input and output are coming under net data type. Then here we will be writing the body of the program. The body of the program. So we have to end the module with the keyword called end module. So you don't have any semicolon here. Actually, end is a separate keyword. Module already we have used here, right? It is a separate keyword, and end module is again a separate keyword. For example, if you are giving a space between end and end module, at that time it will be considering it as two different keywords, and it will show error at the time of compilation. So it should be end module without any space. So this is the normal syntax of a Verilog HDF. So here we have already discussed about four different models, right? So all those models only differs at this body. So I will explain one by one with the help of same XOR gate. First one, I will go for data flow modeling of this particular XOR gate. Data flow modeling of XOR. two input, two input XOR gate. So this is syntax. I will write the module name should not be a keyword. So you can't able to give the keyword name as XOR. So you can give it should not start with a number also. I can give the name as XOR2. So XOR gate need two inputs and one output, right? According to the structure. So I need to have three variables. So A, B, and C. So as per my design, I'm going to use output first. So I'm going to keep C as output, A and B as input. Your Verilog HDL is highly case sensitive. So whatever case you are using for this variable, the same case has to be followed. So here I have used all our small letters variables for C, A, and B. So the same small letter has to be used at the time of using that particular variable. So if you are using capital letters, you have to go with the capitals. So now I have to define the input and output variable. Here I have just give a declaration. So now I'm going to define. So A and B as input variable with a single bit size. Output variable C also has a single bit size. Here I am not mentioning any size here. So it will automatically consider it as A and B as single bit. So in data flow modeling, as I have mentioned already, keyword is assign. So I'm going to use the keyword assign. So the logic, as I have already mentioned for designing using data flow modeling, so you need to know the logic expression. So A B bar plus A bar B. This is the logic which we are using for the design of XOR gate. So assign C equal to, so or you can use the operators also. So the operators which used for designing my Verilog is operators in Verilog. So initially arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators are this is addition, subtraction, multiplication, modulo. All these arithmetic operations we will be using depending on the application. So logical operators. So this is your AND gate. Ampersand is AND, or XOR, negation or inversion, XNOR, NAND, NOR. All these are logical operators. And in arithmetic operator, we have equal sign also, equality operator. Conditional operators like if you go for a if loop or while loop, inside that one for comparing for two different conditions, we may go with conditional and conditional or conditional equality. So these are all conditional operators. Case operators, you will be for implementing switch case. So you will be going with some other this type of case operators like case and case or case equality. So when we are telling about equality and non-equality also will come, right? So this is not equal, okay, in arithmetic operator. Here it is not equal, conditional operator, case operator it is. So these are all the operators available in Verilog. So, so with the help of operators only, you can able to implement these logic. So for an XOR gate design, we have an operator directly XOR. So you can write A XOR B directly, or else you can implement this equation also. So both are fine. So I will show both type of implementation. Actually, if I am going to use the operator directly, my equation will be like this: A XOR B. And finally, we have to use end module. So this is the data flow modeling of a two-input XOR gate. So instead of this, if I am using this type of logic equation for implementing an XOR gate. At that time, I have to use the operators which is used for defining these things. So at that time, equation will be like, actually assign is there. Assign C equal to, here it is dot, right? I have to use ampersand. And here they have given B bar. So in order to take negation, I have to go with the operator, this one, negation operator. So negation B. So actually this is your B bar. So A B bar. Here they have give logical. Actually here it is an OR operation. While writing the logic equation, we go for dot plus and all. But actually we are dealing with a logical operation. So you should not use this plus. Actually, if you use plus, it will become arithmetic operation, and you will end up with confusions. Your output will be wrong at that time. So you have to go with a logical OR. For A bar, it is negation A B. So this is the another type of mentioning XOR gate. So this is also one possible implementation. Here we have a operator directly available for XOR gate. So you can directly use C equal to XOR gate. So if you want to extend this for 3 input means, so you can give additionally another input called D, for example. So you have 3 input. So you can extend it very simply by using the operator. If you have the operator directly. So at that time, if you want to implement using this type of logic equation, it will go lengthier. So if you have the direct operator, you can able to simply extend the inputs. So this is the normal data flow modeling. I will explain gate level modeling using the same. So only the according to the syntax, only the body of the program only going to vary. The input, output, end module, all will be the same. So I am going to copy as it is for gate level modeling. So initially I go with XOR. Just I have to modify the body of the define as per the definition of this. So we are giving the module name, declaration, definitions of input and output. Now I am going to design my gate level model. So for gate level modeling, we need to know the gate level representation of my design. This is the gate level representation of two input XOR gate. So you have the keywords as and, then, and, or, nor already what we have seen, right? So XOR is the keyword. According to the definition of gates, first we have to represent the output, then we can able to represent the input. So this is the normal implementation, gate level implementation of an XOR gate. So if you want to extend this for 3 input means, this is very simple. We can able to extend it very easily. So this XOR gate design, it whatever how many first variable only the output, the whatever may be the rest of the variable depending on the number, it will automatically identify it as a 3 input XOR. So no change. So behavior level modeling. Of XOR2, initially I will go with XOR2. Here also only the body of the program only going to vary. Actually, what I have specified already is this particular modeling is especially designed for designing sequential circuits, right? So the flow of this design should follow all the conditions related to sequential circuit. So as we have seen in the VLSI theoretical session, in the design of a sequential circuit, uh, we need a combinational part as well as a memory element. The memory element should be connected in the feedback path of that combinational part. The purpose of the memory element is so it will use the previous history of the output. Actually, in a sequential circuit design, the output depends on two parameters. One is the current input as well as the previous history of the output. So if you want that previous history, we need to store that data, right? For that only we are having the second data type called a register data type in our design. So not only input and output only in the net data type, we have some other data types also in the net data type. I will explain one by one while seeing the example. Now we have seen only input and output in the net data type. Next one is register data type. Also we have so many types of variable types. The first one is reg data type, that is which is coming under register. So this thing is used for particularly for that our sequential circuit design. So whatever may be the output variable, that has to be declared as reg. Then only we can able to store the previous history of the output. Okay. The next keyword what we have to use is always. So always is a procedure. From the name itself, the whatever content we are writing inside this always loop, so it will run always. So it is an infinite loop. So we need to have a control over that infinite loop using a symbol called at. Here at is an event controller. It is going to take the entire control over this always loop with respect to a list known as sensitivity list. Actually this sensitivity list uh, what it is, what are all the content or what are all the parameter which is going to affect your output. So in a combinational circuit, the output purely depending on your inputs only. So here we will be representing so input as the sensitivity list. So in the case of sequential circuits and all, clock and reset will be the very important parameters which will be having the effect on the output. So at that time, in the sequential circuit design, we will be using clock or reset as sensitivity list. So in the combinational circuit design, so whatever may be the input change, that has to be reflected at the output, right? So you have to use the inputs, all the inputs inside the sensitivity list. And so inside this begin and end loop, you can able to give the logic equation directly. So you can able to use operators, but inside this always loop, you should not use any keyword, and you should not use any symbols. No specific keyword should be used. No all assigned keywords. No any gate symbols. It should not use. Only you can able to use operators. So it is simply A XOR B in the case of XOR B. And also you can able to implement using switch case, and you can implement this truth table directly inside this particular design. So these are all the three modeling types. Our